How's it going? Because there's very interesting and very forthright comments coming out of IMF head Christine Lagarde. Has that been the main focus? She's talking about almost a break on austerity.
Yeah, it certainly has been a key focal point. Obviously, the two big concerns at the moment are really the U.S. fiscal cliff and how that gets managed. That's certainly receiving a lot of attention. And I listened to a discussion by Timothy Geithner earlier today where he came across as certainly being very confident that they'll be able to resolve the U.S. fiscal cliff, he said, before the end of the year, which certainly sparked quite a lot of interest. And then the other big concern is obviously the European crisis, which they've made some progress, but according to Christine Lagarde, there has to be a lot more progress and a lot more effort made to sort of bed down the initiatives from the European Central Bank. In particular, there've got to be a renewed focus on how you get growth into the region. It's not all just about fiscal austerity. It's about, there's a rethink around that and about how you get some of these economies growing again. And there hasn't really been much discussion on that up until now. And then the other issue, obviously, unfortunately, is the debate between, or not the debate, but the flare-up of discussion between Japan and China, which is actually having a very significant and dampening effect on the regional growth in East Asia. So I would say those are the sort of three key areas that are getting most of the attention.
Yeah, that's a very disturbing discussion, rather disturbing development that's been going on, because I was having a discussion yesterday with a commentator, and I don't think we quite realise, A, the extent of the animosity between Japan and China, and B, the amount of trade that could be affected. I mean, it's already affecting companies like Toyota, for example.
That's right. I must say I personally underestimated it until I spent some time in Japan. The impact is very, very significant and actually very quick, in the sense that tourism numbers have fallen off dramatically between the two countries, and you've had a fall-off in trade between the countries already. And if you think that China is Japan's single biggest export market, it's having a huge effect on the Japanese economy. So it's coming at exactly the wrong time. You actually need the opposite to be happening now, because every area of growth is important in the world economy under current circumstances. So this is not ideal as you go towards the end of the year, where you've got the fiscal cliff in the US and really just a whole host of uncertainties.
Yeah, quite right. I mean, let's get away from the regional side of things now, although that regional aspect is going to have ripples throughout the global economy. Let's talk about what happened earlier on, a couple of days ago, when the IMF actually preceded this meeting with a downgrade of global growth to, I think, 3.3%. And the other thing that's quite disturbing as well, it says here, the probability of global growth falling below 2% in 2013 has gone up from 4% to 17%. Okay, 17%, not a big figure, but to go from 4 to 17. Is there a sort of a gloomy feel about this meeting, Kevin?
Yeah, I think there is a bit of a gloomy feel. Obviously, they've revised down growth outlooks quite a bit. I think where the concern is not so much on the revision to the 2012 numbers, but more the significant revision to the 2013 numbers. And there I would highlight a massive downward revision for euro area growth, whereas previously they felt that the euro area would start to recover fairly on in 2013. That expectation has been pushed out quite substantially. And then the other area of concern is quite sweeping downward revisions to emerging market growth, which had survived fairly intact up until recently. But I was just looking at the numbers they put out for Brazil, where you've got growth rates of 1.5%. So it's not just as if China has been impacted, it's all the big emerging markets. So I think that's what's causing some of the concern, is that they don't expect a recovery in Europe anytime soon.